Arden at the top of your screen, I think, and Keef at the bottom, it appears.
Ghost in the back from Keef. Skelly King gonna drop down to counter this. Tombstone is going to be filling up that Skelly King ability. E-Spirit, wouldn't be surprised to see an RG mirror matchup, but the Skelly King Tombstone combo is so versatile, it really could be anything.
Yeah, we see that with Lava Hound sometimes, but like you said, RG as well. And while it might be a little confusing for you at home, just a quick breakdown here. Humble Keef is at the bottom of the screen. Ardentoas is at the top. You can see the player names on the actual gameplay while the graphic is flip-flopped.
We saw this matchup a little bit earlier with Moonlight versus KK. Keef going straight in with a Ghost Royal Giant at the bridge. Zappies and Hunter this time. Hunter instead of Mother Witch. That's definitely going to be a lot more useful in defense. Very solid stuff from Arden there.
Easy cleanup there by Arden, playing some very clean defense, which is exactly what he needs to do. He had a great game number one, but after that it was all downhill. Sweep really took control of that set, and it seems that both of them have had enough time to bounce back and collect their confidence. And there we go. Now it's Ardentoas bottom of your screen, Humble Keef at the top, just to keep along with the action here. We like to keep you on your toes here at Clash Royale League.
Absolutely. E-Spirit's gonna keep Arden on his toes here, not able to get any damage there. Skelly King ability always going to be cleaned up quite nicely by either an E-Spirit or Log.
Royal Giant comes down for Arden, so again, Royal Giants meet each other here in this first game of our first elimination matchup.
Fisherman gonna drop here, gonna counter this quite nicely. Is he gonna be able to get this shot off? It does. Fisherman's gonna be cleaned up.
So a bit of a stop and stare here makes sense as we take into double overtime. Keef decides to set up in the back as we see Zappy split here for Arden. Arden maybe paying a little bit more attention to the defense at the moment because of the push coming in, and then we'll see if he can turn that into a counter push.
What we saw in the Moonlight versus KK matchup is Keef's side of things did have a fireball. I don't think that's what we're going to see this time, because we haven't seen the fireball drop yet.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make, Juicy. And a bit surprising to see Arden run Royal Giant here. He hasn't had a lot of success with it, only a 53% win rate for him. And then Keef on the other side of it, Royal Giant. Not really one of his favorite win conditions. Also, he's got a 38%, so you talk about that unpredictability, and look at that, Royal Ghost on the tower, Juicy. You never want that getting tanked for by the Royal Giant.
Huge push there. Arden is doing his best to cycle these Zappies, Tombstones, stuff like that on the defense, but somehow Keef is just able to apply insane amounts of pressure, get these logs and these Tombstones, and he's got this tower down to 971, almost 1,000 damage lead as we head into overtime.
Is it just overspends here by Arden defensively, or he's just not playing as efficiently as he needs to in terms of just defense, it seems? Because he's not getting much offense going.
Yeah, I think you gotta play your Zappies, you have to protect them more, especially when your opponent is not using the fireball version. As you can see here, he's playing Zappies so far up that the RG is always able to break through and get that shot.
And the value from that log gets the Tombstone, gets the Skellies, hits two of the Zappies, and that's a mistake that you just cannot make here when you are fighting for your run in CRL.
Lightning is going to make its appearance now, and we just need one more Lightning from Keef to clutch up game one.
And you see Ardentoas with a bit of a tilt of the head, and this is where things start to get really, really dicey. You've dropped the first set. You dropped the first game of your elimination set. You got to stay confident, but it's so difficult to do that. Now just waiting for that Lightning to come in. Arden doesn't go for the block. He knows that he's not going to be able to block it long enough to turn that game around. And a quick early win here from Keef, who played. This is the first time that Keef and Arden are meeting this year, at least in the CRL format. Not a lot of story between the two of them, although Keef has gone 50-50 against all the competitors in the top 16 that he has played, so not too bad. And Drill coming out early on from Arden, so.
Keef does pick it up with a Tombstone, but those Goblins were able to find a way to get some nice chip here. Lava in the back from Keef, Ghost same lane, Giant Skelly opposite. Does he have the Mighty Miner in tow here for this defense?
Very aggressive play here. He needs to figure out a way, and the Ewiz comes behind. This could be a good moment for Arden. He's got damage in both lanes, and the Barbs completely ignore the Giant Skelly, while the Royal Ghost goes to town on that left-hand tower.
Magic Archer very nicely placed in the middle here. If Keef doesn't have a Fireball for it, it's going to get a lot of value. But Fireball comes down, and now there's a counter push from Keef's side. Lovehound is on the left here, but it's unsupported, and it's just not enough.
And you can see there, Arden not worried about it at all. Maybe going to NATO everything away here once that lava pops. But then you see the balloon coming in. Now NATO no longer an option. So we see Cannon Cart in the pocket. Just going for it is Ardentoas. And this is a big-time swing from the younger of the two players who had his back up against the wall.
Yeah, last match he was playing so passively, and now he's just going all out for sheer aggression on both sides. Not only does he take both Princess Towers, but that King Tower's down to 2038.
And I love that moment of Arden sitting there and going, maybe I'll NATO, maybe I'll NATO. Balloon comes in, fine, Cannon Cart in the pocket, let's go, baby.
Lava in the back from Keef once again. Giant Skelly at the bridge, no waiting. Are we going to be seeing some barbs on defense?
Barbs should be coming down. There they are, right behind. Turn that Giant Skelly around. Make sure that Death Bomb does not get on tower. I don't know if I love that play, but there's not a lot else on the ground for Keef to defend with. So he goes, Royale goes first in case you want to see that Tombstone drop down. And that is too much damage on that King Tower. This is going to be a 3-crown win for Ardentoas. Lines up the Magic Archer. You love to see it.
Fireball trying to keep that off the tornadoes, not quite enough, but it is going to be a 3-crown. We just need to see
the lava's taking for the barbs. The lava's taking for the barbs. The drill's got to come in.
The drill needs one hit.
You need the NATO.
Let's do it.